Well, I appreciate everyone having me. I'm Dr. Justin Selfridge, CEO of Devorto, and we are building an aircraft that never has to land. We are asking a $500,000 raise to bring a very small scale initial product to market to fund our MVP. So high altitude pseudo satellite, essentially a solar powered aircraft that collects enough energy during the day, can run on batteries at night, and isn't constrained by fuel. So something that lives in the stratosphere would be able to provide better services than satellites, but for the cost and logistics of a drone. It also provides other services that satellites can't do, like atmospheric monitoring for better weather and climate data, an ideal solution to our 5G infrastructure problem. And Google and Facebook have been investing in pre-revenue companies because they want to provide wireless broadband speed internet to the 70% of the planet that doesn't have it. So DARPA has spent $750 million on both fixed wing and airships. Tier 1 aerospace companies have optimized long, slender wing aircraft and looked at some exotic designs. And Google and Facebook have invested in pre-revenue companies, but have abandoned their investments from lack of feasibility. So why is this problem so hard? Because low power aircraft require long, skinny wings. So this is the NASA AeroVironment Helios, which was long held to be the answer for eternal flight. But you can see its inherent lack of flexibility literally twisted itself apart shortly after takeoff. The answer to solve this aerodynamic structural problem is, rather than having one aircraft that can't do the job on its own, what if we had four? And they're all spinning together in a hub and spoke arrangement like a helicopter, but for the sole purpose of putting a wing under tension. This radically changes the design space. And so what you're looking at here is the Tethered Uni-Rotor Network system. It still has vertical takeoff and hover like a helicopter, but it uses 10 times less power than a fixed wing. Our business model, how are we going to get there? We've done funding for NASA and the US Air Force, and we've looked at some smaller scale products to head towards that solar powered system, which also offer compelling competitive advantages. So our path to the solar powered system is to commercialize each of these smaller scale systems. The two business models that are really attractive would be, somebody's got to build it. So we'd like to keep that process in-house as a manufacturer. Now, the flight endurances we're able to achieve, data as a subscription makes a very tractable business model as well. So timeline, where we are the past 5 years, has been funded in R&D mode. We are right now bringing a Group 2 system. That's just means the aircraft weighs less than 55 pounds. Through our industrial partners, bring that to market in the next 9 months. And then from there, we have our next milestones would be a 7-day endurance, a 30-day endurance, and finally the persistent flight aircraft. On time, I want to spend more time on the team, so I'm going to go over this really quickly. What's on the market right now for a Group 2 typically carries 5 pounds of payload. Multi-rotors are the simplest design with the lowest price point. If customers need longer endurance, they would typically go with fixed wing, but that comes with a launch apparatus. And lately, we've been seeing hybrid systems, which have the highest price point, but are really just a compromise between both. So the product we're going to bring to market over the next couple of months offers a 10-hour flight endurance. That is 20 times longer than what multi-rotors can do. And because this gives us a 300-mile range, we don't want to be everything to everyone. We want to focus on long-range applications, such as infrastructure for railroads, interstates, pipelines, and data as a subscription for agriculture markets. So far, we've done nearly $500,000 in funding from NASA and the US Air Force. We have an MOU from the Washington Air National Guard and several LOIs from utilities and public companies. We've been featured in several prestigious events, and thus far we have 3 patents issued. Another one came out last week. I'm Dr. Justin Selfridge, formerly worked at NASA Langley for 7 years developing experimental aircraft. Our president has 35 years head of sales for Growing Brothers Aviation, and we have 3 industry partners that are going to help build our next MVP. Quick look at the financials. We know the market will support a $150,000 unit price for that system, but we'll skip to the big picture. The ultimate goal for the HAPS as a solar powered system would be to replace satellites. And what I really want to leave you with is, if we can get rid of the rocket launch and we can bring the price of the satellite down by an order of magnitude, we would be offering satellite subscription services to both large and medium scale businesses. Essentially, TURN is going to be the backbone for the next telecommunications industry. Thank you.